Do you believe in climate change?
I said yes because, of course, there's bad emissions going on in the atmosphere from cars and manufacturing plants, and that's gonna have a consequence later on. So I do believe in climate change, but I don't think it'll affect the world that much, like with the sea rising up and stuff.
I do believe that climate change is happening because we have proof that the Earth is gradually warming up, and the Antarctica and other places that are cold are seeing record warmth, and other and smog in China is getting much worse. And stuff.
Yeah. Like, this year was the warmest year on record in the past 130 years of just looking at the temperature, so that's kind of.
Um, do you think nations will fulfill their promises of lowering carbon emissions? And I said yes. Small countries like Japan could have serious changes in the economy of shipping because of flooding and such, and because manufacturing a lot of it. And China, since it's so dirty and polluted there, they might have to change a lot of stuff. But overall, I think the nations will fulfill their promises because it's the world that we live on, and
Yeah.
it's not like it's gonna be there forever if we don't take care of it.
I don't think very many are going to succeed because trying to fix that is going to take money, which smaller countries with little money are going to run out of, and then they'll eventually just give up and they won't be able to fulfill their promises.
I think most of them will, just because I think, but it'll be kind of too late. Something's gonna happen.
Uh, Read the passage, find evidence of opinion. And I said, is 2 degrees a lost cause? Many scientists believe we already made enough greenhouse gases to lock in 2 degrees Celsius rise. But it can be an agreement or a disagreement in this opinion, because some people think that climate change isn't going to really affect the planet at all, and many scientists already say that it will, but still some people don't want to give their money and taxes into fixing the environment.
Yeah, I said that. I found the opinion of it said changing the climate will require accepting a lot of immediate economic pain for an abstract future gain, which humans resist. That's an opinion.
I said, so President Obama said the key for Paris is just to make sure that everybody is locked in, saying we're going to do this. But then it says later in the paragraph that the main goal of the 21st conferences is trying to limit global temperature increases over pre-industrial levels.
And the passage that we read was mostly informational, and
Yeah.
it didn't have any figurative and imagery examples.
So, did you research anything that kind of changed your opinion?
I researched some newspaper articles about climate change, and I figured out that there are a lot of opinions out there of what's going to happen and if the countries will help. Even though I just said before in the discussion, I think all of them will, because like Cole said, some small countries don't want some money and raises of $100 billion a year, so they can get accustomed to new changes and such like that because they don't have enough money. And that changes my view a little bit on how many countries are going to pitch in, but not that much.
So I researched China's carbon emissions because it's the highest carbon emission in the world. And last year, there's actually people had to stay in their houses because it got so high, and they couldn't go outside if they didn't have a gas mask on. And that really changed my opinion because just imagining having to stay inside because you wouldn't be able to breathe if you went outside. That's a scary thing to think about.
What I researched kind of relates to Cole's because I researched the effects on animal life, and I found out that almost every animal habitat is affected, and the animals that live in polluted areas such as China often have deformities and diseases.
So, the passage says a lot of things about what you could do, like ways to stop climate change. What do you think would be the most effective?
I think not just carbon emissions. There's other stuff that you need to do too, but one of the lesser ways is probably just instead of recycling more and maybe having a compost instead of just throwing stuff away, like just the basic lines of being good to the environment.
I said like recycling, and with Alex said just trying to be as if you see litter on the ground, just pick it up and stuff like that.
Hmm. Do you do anything to lower your carbon emissions, like on a daily basis?
Well, I walk to school,
Oh.
so yeah, totally.
I don't know. Well, we don't really have all the. Well, when we do yard work, we don't. Well, we have a mower and stuff like that, but we don't have like the stuff that suck up the leaves and we normally rake and stuff like that. Yeah.
What is fine? What is the significance of the word uncontrollable in paragraph 3, 5-line paragraph? And I said it kind of wraps it all up of how bad this can get and how many people are determined to fix it. And it'll have severe consequences on everyone, not just secluded areas and like China and stuff, but Antarctica and
Yeah.
Japan and USA even.
Yeah, I think it just stresses how, like, it's really scary if you can't control it. Like, it could just have so many unforeseen consequences, and you couldn't be able to stop it.
I said mine is pretty much both of what you said. I said it's a very strong word to define that there's really no hope, and that we'll even be able to control it or anything like that.
So it said the passage said a lot of things about geoengineering, which is I don't think it would work. But do you think it could work?
Well, examples like thermal heating and where you take heat from the core of the planet and use it instead of electricity and carbon, and that's not leaving as big of a carbon footprint. So I do believe in some of that, but there are better things that you can do instead of what we have now, and with manufacturing and nuclear power plants that leave very bad emissions into the atmosphere, and it's making holes in the ozone layer. So yes, I do believe that there are some better changes, but people just are not accustomed to it.
Yeah, I said that I think it's a bit too risky because one of the examples they listed was putting up a giant mirror in space, which I just feel like that should just be used as a last resort.
Because all the countries would probably go into debt because they're putting a giant mirror in space.
Yeah.
Just unforeseen consequences, something that large.
And plus you're wasting the Earth's materials.
I don't think that it would work at all. Like, giant mirror, that doesn't really, I don't get how that would work. Or trying to get from the Earth's core or whatever, trying to get the heat from there, I don't know how they would be able to do that either. So I don't think it would work.
So describe the focus of each paragraph and the arrangement of all the paragraphs.
So the paragraph went from explaining what is happening and the impact of what the damage would be to the Earth, and then it started by the end of it, it started giving examples of bad things that are happening to the planet and how to reduce it. And then in the beginning, it told that there was a giant meeting going on with the U.S. government and a lot of other nations to cut emissions, and it's going to take a lot of changes in how people run their government and their society. So, yeah.